Hello and welcome. This is the Triple B podcast. We're back again, and we're in different places because we're trying something a little new here. We're trying Discord instead of Google Meet, so we don't have to stop halfway through. So that might be nice. But anyway, you could still hear us. You can still see us. That's all that matters.
It'd be cool if
So
they could smell us as well.
I smell great.
I am
just
clean,
took a
yeah.
shower. No, Mike, you can just look at you and tell you smell.
Smell great.
Mike took a shower today. Scott took a shower today. I took a shower last night, but here's the kicker, guys. I ate cheese today, so it's me. I am the stank.
So then it's probably a good idea that they can't smell us.
Yeah.
Anybody who has smell-o-vision, I'm very sorry right now.
Smell-o-vision. Remember when that was gonna? I remember man, smell through your TV was gonna be a thing, and I was like, no. And then it didn't. And I was like, yeah, good job. I don't want to smell
things. There are
things.
Shows and stuff that said, hey, pick up this I think the TV show Chuck actually did it. It said, pick up this pamphlet, and at certain parts of the episode, like a number is going to flash on the screen, and we want you to scratch that bit. I think you get it from Subway, and then you can smell it. And it's just assorted smells from the show. It was so weird.
That is really weird.
Yeah.
It was actually a serious thing. It wasn't like joking. Like it was.
I mean, it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but so long story short, Chuck got canceled, and then a lot of people like protested it and stuff like that. And somehow Subway got involved. I don't know why, but they protested like with Subway, and a bunch of people went and bought like a 6-foot sub in honor of Chuck. I don't know the story, but somehow Subway was involved in getting Chuck back on the air. And then when Chuck got back on the air, they always had a character eating a sandwich from Subway somewhere in each episode, and I absolutely loved it. But I'm pretty sure they did a lot of cross promotion. Like, hey, get your scratch and sniff from Subway and watch this episode of Chuck. I think they did that. And if I made it up, then whatever. It's a great story. But I think it's true.
That's very weird.
Yeah. Capitalism in America is totally, they bought Matt.
Capitalism, the game.
As long as those advertising dollars have totally worked on Matt.
There is one thing I want to open up and talk about real quick, and that's the fact that the last episode, not the last episode we recorded, the last episode that aired, right? That was this week, so May the 1st. That's where Scott said if this channel got 100 subscribers, he would play Fortnite with us. Mike, at your last review, how many subscribers were on the channel?
101.
Let's go! 101 subscribers.
So we will be planning. Are we revealing the date here, or do we want to tease it a little bit?
Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Let's just pull off the Band-Aid.
On Wednesday, I believe it's a Wednesday, right?
I think it's a Friday.
Oh, a Friday.
It's a Thursday.
Oh, it's a Thursday. We were both wrong.
No, it is a Friday. It's a Friday.
Yeah,
it is a Friday.
Okay, Friday. So on a Friday, June 9th, or 6/9.
Nice.
We're going to be doing a live stream. And guess what we're going to be playing together? Starts with a fart and ends with a night.
Oh my gosh. I love Doki Doki Literature Club.
Dookie Dookie.
Dookie Dookie.
Dookie Dookie book group.
We're going to stream Fortnite. It's going to be one. Here's another kicker about that day. You know why that day is special, Mike? Can you tell me why that day is special? June the 9th, other than being funny?
Well, I know that my birthday is June 5th, so it can't be my birthday. And I know it's not your birthday.
No, I'm an April baby.
Yeah, nobody cares about us.
No.
Wait a second. Could it be somebody else's birthday in this podcast?
Oh my gosh, what are the odds of that being a reality? You know what? I think it is. And if it's not, let's officially state that Scott's birthday is officially June the 9th, now and forever. And that is the night that we will stream Fortnite, and he will play it for the first time, and it's going to be delightful. I am so excited.
Happy birthday!
If there's a merciful God out there, he'll not let me live to see my 35th birthday. He will let me die the day before.
I mean, if your blind's behind you or any indication, you're already going to the other side. So
it is. They're coming for me.
He's already calling.
Funny story. I have to give some anti-recognition to my team at work because we got up to 100, and apparently you guys really want to see me play Fortnite because a couple of burner accounts in there that got caught by Google. And so the next day, my friend at work, I just hear her off in the corner of the warehouse say to somebody, "It's like, they're up to 96, only 4 more to go. And I was just like, I know what she's talking about. I know what's going on. And so I just yell over there. I'm like, hey, you better not be talking about what I think you're talking about. And she just starts blurring out to everybody about what's going on and says, Scott, tell them about your bet you made. So I'm just like, okay, guys, here's the bet I made, blah, 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 blah. Fortnite, 100 subscribers. What I don't know is while I'm telling this, she is direct messaging everybody in the department the link to subscribe. And so as I'm saying this,
wonderful.
As I'm talking about this, one by one, all my employees are going and subscribing. And so by the time I'm done my rant, I forget who it was, but somebody's like, hey, Scott, you should see your subscriber count now. 100. I was backstabbed by my own crew. So you know what? I remember this. I'm your supervisor. I'm pretty sure HR will not give me any negative repercussions for making your life miserable for forcing me to play Fortnite. I think that's an allowable reason to punish my team. So it's coming your way, guys. So yeah, be ready.
Scott's crew, the real goat here.
Yeah. Yeah. So if any of them are actually watching this right now, I love you. I don't know who you are, but I love you.
You get
and
my
you're my most
approval.
favorite people. We love you so very much. So anywho, we'll start plugging it probably in our own Discord channels and Twitch channels and all that jazz. That we'll figure out what channel. Maybe we'll just do it on Bauer Stream or a co-stream.
Or
I
you
don't
know, I
Maybe
mean, we could.
towards
I mean,
yours.
we could stream on our individual channels, but it's just we just we're talking on our own Discord channel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll
Pretty
just do
much.
that.
So
So
I'm
that'll
excited.
be fun. That'll be fun times.
So that out of the way.
With that out of the
right?
way, so I got two things. So I know we discussed what games are we playing right now, so we'll get to that. But also, I thought it'd be nice to add, what are you drinking tonight? So what fun
Ooh.
drinks do you have?
Ooh.
You guys are
I
normally
think that far
kombucha.
ahead.
I wish.
Give me a second. Okay, I need to run off. Let me find something.
Scott's gonna find something. I wish I had a
Are
fun
you
one.
the one time I asked that he's not drinking kombucha? The one
Yeah,
time.
I mean, he's probably running to get his kombucha, or not. He came back.
Or you can just say, I normally drink kombucha.
I realized that I'm not wearing my pants for this. I'm just gonna go and you block out the camera real quick.
I think there's a brief minute where Scott walked away in his drawers. Mike, when you're editing this, I need you to look at this closely to make sure we can leave it in there. But if he's there and it's Shoney's, please, I beg you, please leave that.
Maybe I'll cut that little clip out, and that will go towards our collection of Bustin' Balls After Midnight.
I'm not gonna lie. I even looked back and I'm like, oh shit, did I walk far enough away for them to see my boxers? And it was like right at the waist. I was like, boom, caught it right on time.
See, I saw you stop and turn around and do that. Like, I haven't physically seen you, I think, in like 3, 4, maybe longer years, but I still know your mannerisms. And I saw you stop and do your head down. I'm like, he's contemplating something deep over there. What?
Well, and
Stopped
what's
him?
funny is as he walked away on my screen, I went, something's off. I don't know
Right.
what it is, but something's
Yeah,
off.
something is off my pants.
There's the name of this podcast. Something is off my pants.
Guys,
Wonderful.
I worked a long day. I don't work remote. I have to go into an office and I have to wear pants at least for 8 hours.
I think
So,
I'm gonna call this
bear with me.
episode "Something Is Off," and then maybe the ...
Parentheses,
my pants.
No regrets, no shame.
This is my
Okay.
favorite start to a podcast we have
So
ever
anyway,
done.
we're just gonna say normally, Scott, you're drinking kombucha. Normally.
Today is water, because you know what? Stay
Just-
hydrated out there, kids.
Yep. Okay, just regular old water. I also have my giant water bottle. This is my second one for the day.
I have my Dogecoin water bottle. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm also drinking Screwball, which is a wonderful peanut butter whiskey.
Yes.
It is great.
I would go off and grab my bottle of Screwball if it would involve, revealing again to the world my boxers. But
You
trust
go
me,
get
I
your
have some in my
Screwball if
freezer.
your Screwballs wouldn't be shown.
Oh,
I do wear boxer briefs, all right? So there's nothing.
okay.
stupid.
There's no
sexy
low hanging
Scott.
fruit.
Yeah.
There's no low hanging fruit if you catch my drift.
Not yet.
So-
Give it a few years. Unfortunately, I'm not drinking anything fun. I have water, and because I'm picking up my in-laws from the airport tonight, I am drinking a Starbucks. I just went to a gas station to get something with caffeine, so I got this white chocolate mocha Starbucks beverage because I'm a bougie, basic white girl.
I used to love
that's-
those,
that's-
in all honesty. I used to love
did
those.
too, but there's so much sugar in it. But I'm like, I need something.
Yeah, I haven't
for
tried
tonight.
one in a very long time. I feel like now I'd try it and be like, spit it back out.
Oh, you would. Like I took a sip of this. I'm like, oh, that's good. Oh, is it? I don't know.
Like as it's going down, you're like, oh, nope. Huge
It's
mistake.
mixed emotions with each sip. That's their new marketing campaign there. But that's what I'm drinking is this white chocolate mocha bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drink.
All right. All right. Well, that out of the way, what games are you gents playing right now? Or game or games? Like, what's the current vlog?
Overwatch is always in the rotation. I'm streaming Persona 5. I'm doing Smash Brothers again on stream. I'm doing that this Thursday. And recently I just beat the campaign of Celeste, which was great.
Great
I'm
game.
gonna, yeah, and then Slay the Spire. I'm always playing Slay the Spire. My most played games this week have been Overwatch and Slay the Spire. But I just did recently beat Celeste, which was awesome. Great game.
Didn't that go places you didn't expect? You're like,
yeah, I mean,
I didn't expect it.
Part of it was spoiled because everyone says like, Matt, there's like so more to it and all like the blurbs and headlines and stuff that I don't even look for.
That's a bummer.
I know. So like I knew it was going to go down some places. And I knew a few things of what to expect, but it was still a wonderful, wonderful story. And just the platforming was great, super challenging. I finished one of the B-sides, which if you don't know, that's like
that's a good accomplishment.
Super challenging run. So I finished the very first B-side and like I put it down and legit like my hands like maintained the shape as if I was holding a controller still. Like it was I don't really sweat.
You walk away, you're like
sweaty.
Yes. I did it.
I think my hands are still recovering from that because like I was holding my phone the other day. I'm just like, it just hurt. I don't know why. But Celeste, great game. Great game.
I like how encouraging it is. It's very like you die and it's like
it's like the Ted Lasso effect, pretty much.
Yes.
Like, but of gaming.
Yeah. What about you, Scott? What are you playing?
So I am in a bit of a holding pattern for Tears of the Kingdom, so I'm not trying to get into anything like too meaty. I did finish platinuming Dredge on Sunday, which again, great game, great game. And hey, they announced DLC for it. Very excited for that, even though it's not going to come out until Q4. But that's all right. I have plenty of games to keep me busy. I'm trying to get into this game called Eastward right now. And honestly, I can't even really describe to you what the game is. I don't even know what really the game is.
It's fantastic. That's what it is.
You beat it?
Oh, I beat it. Yeah, when it came out, I was very, 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 I was like interested in that game. And the beginning starts a little slow.
Yeah.
but then it just like, I really like that. I really like that game a lot.
Yeah, I bought it for the Switch originally when it came out. I think I was like right there with you being excited for it. And then something else big came out around that time. And I was like, I'm going to go play this other game. And it was it showing up on Game Pass actually reminded me. I'm like, oh yeah, Eastward. So that's the version I'm playing and not the version I spent $25 on. So go figure. Something else that I'm doing though, I'm sorry, I'm cheating. I'm not just talking about games. I'm getting into my Lego backlog. I have like 15 different Lego sets that have been waiting for me to put together on the shelf. And I'm putting together right now the Office set, and I just put together this little guy over here. 1 second.
Scott, keep your pants on.
Is that Kevin holding a pot of chili?
God.
A Lego chili? That's
okay,
great.
that's pretty cool.
And does it spill out?
It does. Yeah, like he can fall over and all the chili goes all over the place. It is.
Oh my gosh.
For anybody who loves The Office and can sort of stand Legos at the very least, buy this set. The set's incredible. You look at the picture of it online, and you're like, oh, that's funny. I see all the characters. I see a couple references. As you build it, there's insider jokes for The Office that you can't see, and you don't even know that they're there unless you were the one to put them together and put these little hidden details in there. Like, so far, my personal favorite, I was putting together Michael Scott's office, and there's this little brown Lego. It had me put in the middle of the office. And I'm looking at this Lego, and I'm like, this looks like a little shit. And then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, that was Todd Packer. That was Todd Packer's dump that he did in the middle of Michael's office. So you can't see it right now.
Just holding this little Lego poo. I wonder if that's Lego's first ever poo.
I believe so. That's very exciting. You can't see it right now, but in there, in the middle of this, is a little plastic poo. And I think that is delightful, and I think that's incredible. So, yes, this has been taking a lot of my time recently, and it is such a great usage of my time. I'm loving it. It's delightful.
I love building Legos. They're fun.
That poop got me. What about you, Mike? What are you playing?
I am currently playing Breath of the Wild. I'm replaying Breath of the Wild on Master Mode, and it's kicking my ass. But I have been streaming that, and I'm playing on my own. Man, that game. So this is the first time I've actually played that game on my OLED. Holy hell, it looks good. It's what a gorgeous game, man. The art style and all that stuff, it's great. But replaying that and just reminding myself that I just get lost. I'm like, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? And then I'm like, oh wait, I was supposed to do this one thing that would have taken me 5 minutes. So it's really good. And I'm so ashamed to say this. Well, I guess not, but kinda. I am damn near close to platting Death Stranding Director's Cut.
Do you call that platter?
I said plattering at first, and I was like, man, saying platinuming is tough, so I just said platting.
Let's say you plattered it.
Platterattered.
Plattered all over that game.
But yeah,
I
so
like it when I get Scott to go,
we just move on.
That doesn't
Ignore
happen
it.
very often.
But yeah, replaying that, and that is such a stupid game, such a crazy game, and I love it. I just connected all of the UCA facilities. I just got them all to the top rank. Now I'm plowing my way through the main story, and then I'll have just like, I think I have something like 10 trophies left, and 5 of them are just like, I finished the game and I'll get them. So I'm really close. I really like that game a lot. So
Each their own.
To each their own.
But speaking of Mike recommendations, I forgot to mention one final game that I'm
Thank you.
on.
I was going to point that out.
So for anybody who listened to, actually that episode hasn't aired yet. So a little bit of a spoiler.
The last episode.
It'll be the last episode. So you're segueing into it.
So a little bit of a spoiler. Mike did a pretty big plug to try to go and convince us to play Doki Doki Literature Club. And at first, this was a game where I was like, there is no way in hell I'm playing this game just looking at the pictures of it online. And then I hear it's a psychological horror game. And I'm like, wait, hold up a minute. Okay, let me hear more about that. I just got a new gaming PC. Well, by PC, I mean a laptop. So, sort of still counts. So I decided, like, you know what? This game's free. Sounds kind of interesting. This will be my official very first ever stream game I download. Played about an hour of that the other night, and it was rough. The only reason I'm plowing through is because it's like, all right, eventually things are going to change, supposedly. But it's pretty tough. But I'm hoping to go and finish that game this Saturday. So hopefully by the time we talk again, I can give you a full update of my Doki Doki experience.
I can't wait to tell you my stream story. I can't wait to. It's
all Mike's fault. It is 100% your fault, Mike. And
Shut up, you weeb.
When I got... So this week at work, I've been telling people saying like, oh yeah, I got into Doki Doki Literature Club. And I just assumed everybody would just be like, what's that? Everybody did the same exact thing. How much about that game do you know? It's a psychological horror game? Uh-huh. And then they just kind of like walked off, and it's like, ooh, this doesn't bode well for Scott. So I am very interested to see how this game goes down.
That's the other thing I love about it. Everybody who's played it, they just know. Don't say anything. Just say, I'm playing this. I gotta go. They leave. Like, they just know.
Not exaggeration. Not exaggeration at all.
Once the previous episode drops and people know that you have played the game, I will stream the game. I will do it. But I also want to... I'm waiting for Scott to finish so I can get his reaction just because I want to hear it. But I will stream this game. I will.
Depending on how crazy this journey is, this might be, I might even watch his stream. Sorry, Matt, I haven't watched any of your streams yet.
I don't care. You're good, dude.
I think it's time to come clean on that. But yes, I will partake and watch it, depending on how crazy this is.
All right, I'll make sure I'll let you know when it's happening.
All right, so today's topic. We're going to be discussing, and this is a really good one, and... Earlier in our discussions, I had to make the clarification because my immediate 5 games I thought of, all of them only had one game. So maybe that's a discussion for another day. But our topic today is dead gaming franchises that we would love to see make a return. And I'm dying over here. I'm gonna let Matt go first. So Matt, go for it.
Yeah. All right. See, I was actually hinting to this game, and I assumed these guys would pick it up immediately, but they didn't. So I'm gonna go with it. And if I stole it from one of you, don't care. There's a franchise that got me into first-person shooters online. I typically don't like first-person shooters online. I hated Call of Duty. If you listen to a previous podcast, you know I wasn't a big fan of Halo.
Oh, you love Halo.
No, die in fire.
Liar, Matt,
Oh,
liar.
you know what? Class, school, followers, whatever we call you people that listen to this, I don't know. Porta potty boys for Scott.
Potty boys.
Maniacs.
Potty
It's
maniacs.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Potty boys. Oh, potty boys. That's
Potty
the one, too.
boys.
Maybe we can be the potty boys because Scott is the potty maniac. So Mike and I can be.
Maybe
the potty
they evolve.
Boys.
They start as potty boys,
Oh.
but over time they evolve into potty maniacs, just like Pokemon.
You're like my henchman.
Yeah, I like it. We'll take all the bumps. You get all the glory. It'll be wonderful. Wrestling lingo.
Sounds great.
There is a game. There's a game that we were obsessed with. We've talked about it multiple times, and I'm talking about it again now. It's a franchise that is still being played, right? It's still being played. It's free to play, but I think it is dead. This game is Team Fortress. Team Fortress 2 is dead. Not in that people are still people are still playing it. They are. It is dead because Valve was like, we're done making games. We're not making Portal 3. We're not making Half-Life 3. We're going to make a weird VR thing. They're not going to make Team Fortress 3. And that's a game that needs to freaking come out. And part of our discussion our chat going into this discussion is like, okay, let's name franchises that we want to come back, essentially, that were dead. And also, what can they do to, thrive and not be dead again? One simple answer. Hey, Valve, you don't have to make it. License it to somebody. I don't care. Say, go look at what Overwatch 1 did. Look what Overwatch 2 did that was bad. Ignore that and make Team Fortress 3. Just make Team Fortress 3.
Literally, just take Team Fortress 2 and update the controls. Like, update the motions and stuff and the visuals. You can even keep the music. I don't care. Keep the music. Music is great.
And if you made the game free to play, millions would play it. If you made it cost $60, guess who's going to buy it? Likely us three, as long as it's, true to itself. That is a game that needs to be made, needs to be revived. And here's how it can stick around. One, just make it, support it, add crossplay. You can add your stinking hats. I don't care. Make the game that Overwatch 2 should have been, a game that I'm still playing. And also, get rid of all the hacking nonsense that is currently destroying current Team Fortress 2. I know a lot of people that play it, but it's so modded to hell. You just
and bots and just
bots.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm glad you mentioned Overwatch 2 because going back, what was it, 7-8 years when Overwatch came out, my friend, literally the way he got me to go and give Overwatch a chance is he's like, hey, this game's coming out. It looks like kind of like TF2. They're not really doing anything with TF2. Do you want to try it out? I'm like, sure. I had no interest at all in Overwatch's story. I still have no interest in Overwatch's story. I literally started playing that game, and I played it pretty hardcore for 2 years, just because it was filling a TF2-shaped hole in my heart. So, obviously, there's a demand out there for these type of games. You're letting Blizzard eat your lunch, Valve. It's a very, very, very easy buck you can make. I know you're making fistful of dollars through Steam, but can you ever make enough money? Isn't there more money you could make? Who would say no to making more money?
Right.
But I'm glad.
A lot of these companies, unfortunately.
I had no idea what you were going to talk about, Matt, and now that right before you said, I'm like, oh, it's going to be TF2, and you know what? I agree. Amen, brother.
Go. Let's
Amen.
100% got my vote. I'm going to be real honest. I would have preferred Team Fortress 3 than even if they put all their resources to Team Fortress 3 instead of a Steam Deck. I would buy Team Fortress 3 on any platform that it came out on.
100%. And we'd probably be bad at it too, but we wouldn't care.
We wouldn't care. We wouldn't care.
Well, the thing is, wasn't TF2, or not TF2, the first TF1, wasn't that just basically like a Counter-Strike community mod deal? And so like you said, if Valve doesn't feel like doing it, why don't just hey, somebody, make your own TF3 and we'll go and endorse it if it's good or something. I mean,
license it out. They can do it.
We'll pay you one lump sum, one-time funds,
Yeah,
buy
they
your
could
game
even
from
get
you.
a lot of folks that did Overwatch 1. And that's the reason I played Overwatch 1 is like, this looks like TF2. I might have been someone that said that to you as well, Scott. I don't know. But yes, Overwatch 1 is a spiritual successor to Team Fortress 2. It's one reason why I loved Overwatch 1 so much. It's one reason why I keep playing Overwatch 2. I still like it. I love how vibrant it is, how easy it is to see who you're up against, who's on your team. And that's the key. It's a team based shooter. I never cared for the free for all stuff. I really don't. I like that there are classes, things that I can do to support people. Like TF2 was the first game I played that did that for an online game. That really was my first online game where I'm like, oh, I don't have to be the guy that just has a generic machine gun and tries to kill the other guy with a generic machine gun. There was variety, there was teamwork, there was a lot of fun just being in big parties with your friends. So that is my first game. Team Fortress needs to come back, and the way to make it stay is to, I don't know, Valve, either A, make it, or B, just license it out. The fan base is still there. They just want a good one. You can do it. Team Fortress.
Man, that'd be great. Hashtag Team Fortress 3.
Let's go.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
I would love for Valve to somehow respond to this. Maybe I'll tag them. They won't even see. But that'd be so funny if I was like, hey, if Matt will finally plat a game like on purpose, they'll start working on Team Fortress 3.
If Valve said, Matt, plat whatever game it is, I don't care, Doogie, whatever I'll plat any game. If Valve says, Matt, we'll make it if you plat in this game. Yes.
Slay the Spire.
Oh no. That'd be hard. I will look online and how to do it.
No, if you're one and only, it's gonna be the hardest one, and it's gonna be the one you play the most.
I'll do it if it means Team Fortress 3.
Hey!
Well,
I'll tag
Valve
them
at me first.
Yep, I'll tag them when I post this, and absolutely nobody will watch this or pay attention to it. But it doesn't matter. I'm gonna try.
Do it.
Oh man, that's great. Scott, what do you got? What's your first game?
Here's my game, and this one's kind of a little bit interesting because, like what Matt was kind of talking about TF2, this isn't really quite 100% dead franchise. A lot of people might be surprised to know that it's not dead, but it's very much in a zombie state currently. And I was debating talking about this one or its probably more popular competitor, and I'm going to go with Rock Band. So, in case you guys aren't aware, like I said, Rock Band 4 was a thing. I want to say it was 4 or 5 years ago. Nobody bought it because it was way after the Rock Band Guitar Hero craze kind of died down. But it's still kicking out there. It still comes out with a couple DLC songs a week. As a guy, I think I mentioned in the previous episode, who spent like $2,000 on DLC for that game, I haven't bought a single thing for Rock Band in probably like 4 or 5 years, which makes me really sad. And I have these big, clunky, fake plastic instruments that are collecting dust.
You still have them?
I still have all of it.
Oh, man.
One thing that doesn't help is I keep moving into the second floor of apartments. And I have a feeling that the people underneath me, no matter how much they're assholes, wouldn't appreciate me playing these instruments.
They're one of the subs. You know, they heard us talking. They're like, let's go sub to that guy's channel just to piss off that guy.
Screw that guy. So the really interesting thing is I could totally tell you why Guitar Hero died, because they oversaturated it and Activision is the devil. But in general, just the whole music genre, you know, rhythm game, genre video games, it's one of those things where I don't understand why it became so uncool so quickly. It was the hot thing. Like, again, we keep doing references to previous episodes, but Matt talked about he was the one that got me into Guitar Hero, and that thing spread like fire. I'm sure there's people who are like, what, $100 game and you have to play it with a big stupid plastic guitar? That will never go and take off. Oh, it took off. It was the hot thing. Guitar Hero 2, hot thing. And then what was the third one? I feel like the third one was like peak mainstream of Guitar Hero rhythm games. Everybody played them. It was such a big deal. You literally had bands that were re-entering the iTunes top-selling charts because their songs were included in Guitar Hero, and people were like, hey, I love that song in Guitar Hero. I'm going to buy it now, add it to my music library. And then it became uncool. And that's one of the interesting things. One of the things I said, like, hey, what we should talk about is, like, what can we do to bring these franchises back? And I just don't understand why it's not cool anymore. Granted, I haven't played it myself in forever, but I think it's more has to do with my living situation. I'm sure not every single person out there who loved Rock Band is living on the second floor of an apartment with asshole people living underneath them. So I think this would be an interesting thing to hand it over to you guys because I think I don't know about you, Mike, but I know Matt at time he liked Guitar Hero and he liked Rock Band and he does not give a crap about it anymore. Like from a man who does not care about it anymore, Matt, what made you not care anymore?
It's like, I guess it's one of those unknowingly not caring, where it wasn't like I went like done now. It was just like, oh, they made a new one. I don't want to spend the money. Like that's essentially when I stopped. Was like, there's all these new ones, and I think what really did it for me is one, the drum sets, which was my favorite bit because I am a drummer, albeit a mediocre one, but I love the drums on Rock Band, and I broke like 3 of those pedals. I'm not even kidding you. Like before they actually started making decent pedals, like I broke 3 of those. So that's actually kind of when I'm like, I want to play this, but I keep breaking these things. And then they finally came out with like a new one. I'm just like, I can't buy all the stuff again. So I think I really stopped playing right around the time I think I got engaged and married. And that was when I don't know if I had Rock Band and guitar early on in our marriage. I think that's when I might have parted ways with it. And I had it on like the PS2 and then the Xbox 360 is where I remember having Rock Band. And I definitely moved from Guitar Hero to Rock Band and just stayed on the Rock Band train. But basically, once the new one came out, I was pretty young and poor, and now I'm old and poor. And I was just like, I don't want to buy it. Like it was fun. It probably also I didn't think about at the time, but I was on the 3rd floor. My very, very first place after I moved out of my parents was I was on the 3rd floor of a building. Like I would have been thumping that kick pad all over the place. So I think for me, it's when they came out with a new one, I was just like, I can't buy it right now, and then poof, gone out of my brain.
So it was more of like an equipment investment.
It was that mainly. Like it was fun. It was a really, really fun party game. Like I would absolutely love to play it right now with people, but I don't want to buy it again. That's pretty much it right now. Like if they came out with a full-fledged, this is new, this is good equipment, I would be interested. Like my wife and I would likely buy it if it was a full-fledged supported one. But you might have some thoughts as to what they could do to, you know,
What I
keep
think,
it around and
yeah, I think
longevity.
for me, so I wasn't like the biggest fan. I liked it by proxy. Like whenever I went over to the Rushings, you all were playing it, and I would be like, yeah, okay, cool, and I'd play it, and I'd have a good time. I had nothing but good things to say about it. But I think it kind of suffered the whole toys to life thing. The most recent one I could think of is Starlink, right? And they had this really cool, like, whoa, you got a Nintendo themed one and it's got Star Fox. You put the Star Fox toy on it and you play as Star Fox, and it's like a new Star Fox game that's not Star Fox. Like, people didn't want to buy the extra. Your exact reason. Like, and I think that if they were to bring it back, if they just said, look, you get this equipment, this is your equipment moving forward. You pay for
As a service.
yeah, like you maybe like the dancing games, Just Dance. I one of my kids wanted it one year, so we got it. I think it was during the pandemic, so we're like, hey, this is a good way to stay, mobile. We got it, and I realized that they have a subscription service. So the game comes with base, like, hey, you paid for it. Here's your base of all these songs. Doesn't matter. The internet can go out. You still have these songs. But then you could pay for a subscription, and they had different, month, annual, 6 months, whatever. And they kept updating that list, and it kept growing and growing and growing. So if they did something like that, that's easy continual revenue,
Yeah.
and all you do is you just go, okay, what new songs are in the hits? All right, let's add them.
That would be
Yeah,
so cool. Like
yeah,
I'm
I
just
think that's a great
thinking about
idea.
And that way now people like Matt go, yeah, that is $150, but I don't have to do it again. And now, like, I'll have fun initially with not the sub because I just dropped 150. So for like a month or so, you're good. Then when that month is up, and you go, okay, I got a little bit extra cash, $5 a month for a sub or something. Something make it cheap because it'll just keep going, right?
Yeah.
And now you got people hooked. And if you make it cheap enough, you also get those people that like they pay for it and then they don't even ever like they forget they have it. And then like 6 months later, they're like, oh, I haven't played. I should probably stop that. But they just got 6 months for nothing, right?
Which is side tangent on that. My mom asked me do I need Dropbox Premium randomly? I'm like, why are you asking me if you need Dropbox Premium? No, you don't. She goes, well, I got on this banking service that like consolidates and shows you all of your bills that may not be utilized. And I'm not kidding. For 8 years, they've been paying for Dropbox Premium and didn't know it. I'm like, what? So
Okay.
I got them. I deleted it so they can save their money there. And they also did it with some gluten-free thing because I see like I can't eat gluten. So she got an app because of me, but she somehow accidentally paid for the premium version. I'm like, why do you have these things that you're not using and you don't know that you have? So that was fun. I got to
I can
delete
take
those.
that up a level. I can take that up a level. So my
Of
work,
course you could.
my
Scott.
work hat was on like a year-long quest where I think it was some Adobe product that somebody randomly within the company subscribed to this and was paying like $15 a month for it and stopped using it. And my company finally was looking through the bill and like, oh, we're paying $15 a month recurring for this Adobe thing we don't need. They called into Adobe saying like, okay, cancel it. Nope, only the user who subscribed to it can cancel it. But like, I have the credit card. Doesn't matter. Only the user who subscribed to it can go cancel. Multiple posts all across the company Slack. Hey, were you the one to subscribe to Adobe? Did you do this? Did you like? Nobody would fess up to doing it. And so literally for over a year, they're just continuing to pay this because nobody is fessing up to it. So eventually they actually had to go and cancel the entire credit card, which may not sound like that big of a deal, but this was like one of the main company credit cards. So we had to go through like dozens and dozens of vendors and update the credit card information for a new card. And I'm just like, man, that's business in America today.
That's wonderful.
I will say Adobe is awful with their sub stuff. They are.
Oh, they are.
Absolutely. That's why I don't do them anymore. Like, they're awful. They're awful.
You can do a lot of the stuff that you would in Adobe in Google Chrome. Just
Yes.
delivered free Google Chrome.
Yeah,
A little cheat for you. To bring it back to Mike's point is I have never given any thought to Rock Band really until Scott brought it up. And I love that like game as a service where maybe instead of here's Rock Band 2 or 3, it's hey, here's our new kick. Here's a new guitar. And just thinking of like that on top of like games as a service is like just because that's the biggest name I can think of right now is like, hey, Taylor Swift's new song is dropping next week. Pay us now. You can play it on Rock Band for an extra $10. Like they could do things like that, like partner with certain folks and she gets a bazillion dollars.
Or like you get to play the song before it's released anywhere else, like
anywhere.
a couple
they could do
days
stuff
before.
like that all the time.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Look, man, that's a business idea. That's a great business idea. And even I would be interested to get my kids, like, hey, I'm teaching them. They're learning how to play instruments and it's fun,
The sad thing is, though, we should more be talking about ideas for a new Guitar Hero versus Rock Band. Because thinking over it, there's never going to be a Rock Band 5 or any spinoff. And you know why? Very ironic. Harmonix, the company who makes Rock Band, got bought out by another company fairly recently, Epic. And you know what they're going to be doing for Epic? Creating music-themed experiences for, wait for it, Fortnite.
They're adding rock. Hey, you were in a previous podcast, you were saying a game that you missed was that like Guitar Hero, whatever, on where you use your controller.
Rock Band Blitz.
That's great.
Maybe that's how, if it wasn't for the fact that Scott, we have 100 subscribers and now Scott has to play Fortnite. By the way, it is Fortnite from here forth. Is hey, now he can play like his little Rock Band fusion or whatever in Fortnite.
We all win. I'll play your Fortnite. I get to go and get back to playing Rock Band. We're all winners. I'm so happy there can be a happy ending to this.
See, my takeaway here is like I really want Team Fortress 3, but now I'm kind of like, man, would I want Guitar Hero or Rock Band more than Team Fortress 3 right now? Maybe. That's a good one, Scott. That's a good one.
I think like, and see, I'm not even a fan, and I would like that. And if they could bring it back, if they did what I suggested, and then figure out all the details, they could absolutely 100% bring it back. And I think people would like if they know, like if I invest in this once, and then I can, a couple years like upgrade, right, or whatever. Okay. And I think they tried to kind of do that with Rocksmith. Yeah.
I think that was
but,
it.
But like you plug in an actual guitar and you play a guitar to it, right? Like they kind of tried to alleviate that by like, well, you go buy an instrument, you can use that however you want. But no, keep it game peripherals, right? Like just keep it on that in one time. So I think that's a good idea. I think that could work.
I like it, Scott. You got anything else, Scott, or should we hear what Mike has to say?
One final comment, I guess a little bit of a side tangent. One thing I absolutely do not miss about the Guitar Hero Rock Band era is when you're playing in, you would always have your friend or your parents like, why don't you learn to play a real guitar? And it's just
It's like that South Park clip
clicky, clicky,
when,
clicky.
when they're over there playing it, Guitar Hero, and the dad goes, "Isn't this cool, guys?" And he's like, and they're like just looking at him, just staring at him like, "Dad, no."
I will say that I learned the drums via two ways. One was our friend Mike here. He legit taught me drums back way back. But also Rock Band.
Yep.
Rock Band legit helped me play drums. I used to have like when I moved up to Indiana, I was drumming for a church and I had some kids like, can you teach me drums? Or the mom was like, can you teach my kid drums? I'm like, one, no, absolutely not. I'm not doing this. But two,
play Rock
like,
Band.
legit, play Rock Band. It will help separate your hands from your feet. So when I tell people like they find out I'm a drummer, not that I've played in years, they're like, how'd you learn? Like, one, someone did teach me, but also Rock Band. It legit is the closest to a real life instrument experience. So there you go.
What Matt's trying to say is, hey kids, stop touching grass, go play video games.
The opposite. Yep.
Nailed it. Let's go. Go touch plastic.
All right. Let's go, Mike. Let's
Okay.
go.
So both of my games are I have the GameCube versions, but they were on PS2 at the time as well. And I'm looking at both of them right now. One of them, the first one I'm going to talk about, is also a first-person shooter. And this game is the perfect amount of silly, serious, and what's crazy is that I booted it up, I want to say at the end of last year, just, I got my setup and I was trying out my stuff. I was like, I want to play this a little bit. And I was playing it on the GameCube, and surprisingly, it still holds up. If they just made it a little bit more fluid, they could literally just make an HD version of it, and it would be great. It would be great. It's still great. The design, the levels, and everything. So my first game is a game called Time Splitters, and this one is called Future Perfect, which is personally my favorite. But I guess there's the Time Splitters 1 and 2, but like there's a whole bunch of other. They all have like the subtitles, right? But Time Splitters, I would freaking love to see this franchise come back. And I think just by the sheer nature of it being a first-person shooter, you got it. And this dude looks like Vin Diesel. Okay, I mean, come on, that's pretty hot. So what Time Splitters is, and specifically my favorite one, Future Perfect. What Time Splitters is a first-person shooter where you go to different times. Like you are literally splitting time. And so like in Time Splitters Future Perfect, they have different eras that you go to, and the story takes you along the way. And you meet all sorts of crazy characters. I actually see a couple of them on the back here. Like there's a monkey with a gun. That's great. You got like the emo kid, the emo teen girl. If you could see it, you got the emo teen girl. So that's like the near future. You have it's kind of hard to see, but this guy's a disco, like he's the disco era. This is like old archaeologist, like Indiana Jones type, and it's so
Quick
cool.
question.
Yes,
I'm so sorry, but I have to ask, what time era was there monkeys running around with guns? Because when we get to the point where we can time travel, I do not want to visit that era of monkeys running around with guns. I will stay clear of that.
If I remember correctly, I think it was in the past, but it was like the guy had trained his monkey. I can't, don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I played the whole game.
God help us all.
I know.
God help us all.
Damn dirty apes. But I love the game because it's just a fun. It's a fun first person shooter, which I feel like so many first person shoot. I think that's why Doom 2016 was so great. Is they went, let's make a first person shooter where it's just fun to play. Like go at it, rip things apart, jump all over the place, new guns, crazy music, have fun, have fun. And I just feel like too many first person shooters are the super serious Call of Duty or their multiplayer, their online multiplayer games, right? Like that's it. And this was stupid. It was silly. It had goofy humor, had serious moments. It had great little cutscenes. It played well. You could go to different eras, so each one had a theme. So that was really cool. The level design's really good. The voice work was really good. I mean, and what's crazy is that if I remember correctly, look who freaking sponsored this game, published this game.
Boo, boo,
EA.
boo.
EA Games. And that was when they clarified that it was, EA Games, not just EA. But I got this game. I'm going to be real honest. I got this game because I saw it cheap and it was a GameCube game that was mature. And I was like, I have to try this. That looks kind of cool. And I love it. And I legitimately think that they could bring one in, make a brand new series. They could do a whole new story because it's all different eras, right? And I think that they could make it fun, like in a Doom 2016 way. And I think it would do well. And then throw in your online and get your microtransactions in to make your business.
So I never played this game, but I've heard only cool things about it. And one of the reasons that I would love to see it come back is there's a professional wrestling tag team made up of Kushida and Alex Shelley, who is my all-time favorite professional wrestler. And in New Japan Pro Wrestling mainly, they were known as the Time Splitters, partly because of that game. So the fact that Alex Shelley is a Time Splitters fan means I'm sold. Whatever it is, that man is like cool, like the epitome of the word cool. Freaking love Alex Shelley. And I might be missing some context as to why they're the Time Splitters, but I'm pretty sure that was a motivation. They sort of had a Back to the Future gimmick too, which is pretty cool. Anywho, I'm on board. I have nothing to contribute about the game itself other than I remember a lot of people liking it. I remember it was looked upon fondly. And once I made my list of the two games I wanted to talk about, I got curious. I looked online and like, what other like, dead franchises are people like yearning for? That was on every single list. Every single list. So you in very, very common company of people that want to see that as well. I have nothing to add about the game other than you are not alone. That seems to be like something people want bad.
I know, and so like that's even more reason. Like, okay, so say no, absolutely nobody new picks it up. You have all of us, the army of of people that are like, we played these games, we love them. Please bring them back. We'll buy them. We'll buy them.
So I've heard the name before of the franchise, really know nothing about it, and then hearing you explain, I'm like, hey, that sounds pretty cool. My question is, how campy is it?
Oh,
Because I can
super.
imagine it be.
Oh,
Okay,
super.
good.
I would recommend after the podcast just look up some cutscenes, specifically of Future Perfect, because I can speak on that one. And I'm telling you, it's it's so lame, but it's the good kind of lame. Like you're watching, you're like, that's lame. I like it. Like it's so good. It's so campy. It never takes itself too serious, but it's just fun. It's just fun to play. It's
I
just
mean,
fun
it
to play.
sounds like it's one of those concepts where it doesn't sound. If it was a movie, it wouldn't be unique, but for a video game, it is. Because I can't think of any game that really does that type of deal, and that it seems so right. Like there's Turtles in Time, another game that came out like 30 years ago. Otherwise, yeah, I can't think of really any time
And
jumping
how much
video
is that
games.
game loved?
Yeah, exactly. People love time travel.
Yes,
Back
time
to the
travel.
Future, Turtles in Time, Time Splitters. Come on, people,
Because
utilize
there's
this.
something for everybody, right? Like you're into westerns, you can get into westerns. You're into old samurai films, you got it. Like you, there's so many different eras you go to, and like I said, I keep going back to the word fun. It's just fun. I miss when first person shooters were fun. Just fun. That's why I love Doom 2016 because the whole time I'm just like, yeah, the story's cool. Yeah, that's great, but like I'm just ripping demons apart and I'm having fun.
Ike
So,
loves ripping them.
I was looking up gameplay as you were talking about it, like I like to do when you guys talk about certain games. It looks very old school Halo. And I know I crapped on Halo Online, but
but this actually has character.
it says character was on the GameCube. The idea of being like it's kind of like the Doctor Who effect, where like you can be anywhere. You can do so much when you have literally like the entire history of the world at your disposal. And I found a random clip of like a deer head, like a hunted deer head on a wall. Like, okay. And then that actually wasn't just a deer head. The deer actually has a body and he Kool-Aid Man's into the door. And then you have to fight him, and his name is the Deer Hunter. I was just like, all right, all right, all right. I'm here, Mike.
And
I'm here
just if
for
you
it.
look at the cutscenes, the way they animate, like especially the main character, like his facial like it's amazing what they did. You know what other game it reminds me of with like the animation style is Jack and Daxter. Like very animated, very it's just very good. It's just a good game. They're good games. They're great games. Give us another one, please.
See,
What
now
is-
if they made a new one, I would totally buy it now based off this pitch. See, you got the old time fans, you got the new potential fans. This sounds like a win. Who own like does EA actually own the rights to this? Or are they just the publisher? Who
See, and that's where I don't know. Like I believe that they were just the publisher. Let me look. I mean, I guess I could look on the back here and see. Developed
always
by
wonder about-
Free Radical. Somebody look that up. Free Radical. Actually, it says dot Free Radical. Gosh, that sounds like QAnon or something. That kind of scares me a little bit. Free Radical. This
an uncharged molecule having an unpaired variance electron. There you have it. That's
Okay.
who made this game.
So, do you know what I'm looking at the date of this game? And this might have been the last one that came out. Any guesses on date? I mean, it already dates it because it's on GameCube, but 2005. Almost 20. It's 18 years.
It is a British studio, and it has been dead since 2009.
They became Crytek.
Are
UK.
you kidding me?
They did Crisis 2 and 3.
Which,
and
oh my God, are you
Warface.
serious? Because I played Crisis and I was like, this wasn't that good. Like Crisis Remastered. I played Crisis Remastered, Crisis 2 Remastered, and I was like, this game is amazing.
that's probably why. And I mean, this is Wikipedia, so take it as you will.
Yeah.
But there's an untitled Time Splitters game from 2021 to present.
Give me
And
Crisis, but Time Splitter. Oh, that
Yeah.
kills me even more. I really want this franchise to come back. I really do.
That'd be rad. I'd be down. Like, usually I don't always get games like this just because they're not always my style, but I'm sold, man. Let's go.
Deer Hunter.
Deer Hunter.
I like how this started of like, you know what I wish comes back? Time Splitters. And it's ending with, hey, they're working on Time Splitters. Yay! More happy endings.
We did this. We did this.
We did this.
I got nothing else to add on the game. It sounds like we're in agreement that, like, even though Scott and I never played it, we're like, yeah, man, let's go. All right.
All right.
Well, I'm going to move on to the next one. A game that you guys, franchise you might have heard of, likely never played. So my very first video game system was a Sega Genesis. Now, the first game I ever had on the Sega Genesis was Sonic the Hedgehog 1, which, looking back, I should have said what games that people like that are overrated. I think Sonic the Hedgehog, but you know, whatever. Even as a kid, I didn't really care for the Sonic the Hedgehog games, mainly because it was a skill issue and they were really hard. I just didn't have fun
Man,
with it.
you are sicking a fan base on us that I don't know if I want after.
You know
Yeah,
what?
bad.
Sonic fans,
I
come
like
fight
Sonic.
me.
I like Sonic games. Please.
Sonic is the
spare
best.
me.
It's better than Mario.
Hey, you know what Sonic game I liked was
Take Matt, not me.
it was, I forget what it was called, but it was on the DS and they used both screens pretty
Yeah,
well.
it was
Rush, Sonic Rush.
Dual Rush. Dual Rush.
I think that was good. I enjoyed that. Anywho, the franchise I want to talk about this. All right, picture this: Mega Man, but good.
I'm out. You know what?
I said that made it a bit.
It's been real.
He just turned off his camera. I said that to get Scott a little salty. No, it's, in my opinion, it's Mega Man, but better. The franchise is called Vector Man, and it was on the Sega
I forgot it.
Genesis.
Wait, there were more. There was a Vector Man
Vector
2.
Man 1 and Vector Man 2. And they
Okay.
tried to make one, I think, on the PlayStation or something, or a Sega Saturn. I don't remember, but and
It
I
was
don't think they
it
ever
was a
finished it
Saturn. Mm-hmm.
because it either came out and bombed, or they're like, this game sucks, don't make it, because they made it like a third-person shooter. It plays like a Mega Man game, right? It is a side scroller. You do pick up power-ups, not like permanent power-ups. It's more in line with kind of like Metal Slug, where you pick up like special guns and then you use the ammo and then it kind of depletes and things like that. Vector Man was my first favorite video game. It was on the Sega Genesis. I enjoyed it more than than Mega Man. I said it. It looked better than Mega Man. It had a better story than Mega Man. And here's the biggest thing. Unlike Mega Man, you can shoot up and at an angle, which drives me nuts in Mega Man
Ooh.
games.
That's a
Drives
good
me
point, though.
drives me nuts in Mega Man games that you have to like jump just to kind of shoot things at an elevated level. I hated that so much. And here's another thing.
Counterpoint. Counterpoint. I'm looking
Okay.
at pictures right now. He literally looks like he's made out of tennis balls.
Yes. So the
But you
short and
gotta
sweet of
see
it
it. You
is
gotta see it in action, though. It actually does look pretty cool.
it is really,
Yeah.
really fun. If anyone has any form of a Sega Genesis collection, these games are always on it. Vector Man 1 and 2. I liked 1 better than 2. Graphically, it kind of followed the Mortal Kombat effect where it had like it was a side scroller, but it had like 3D textures and things like that. But the premise, it's actually basically the premise was Wally, well before Wally, where like the world is destroyed. They left robots to clean up. One of the robots basically goes all evil. It's like, I'm gonna just keep destroying the world and make it so when the humans come back, we murder them all. You're just a salvage bot that goes, uh-oh, I better stop this. And then you just go save the world. Also, the music for Vector Man, old school retro Sega Genesis beats. It was so good. It actually had some voice work too. And the boss fights were so varied. They had sort of in between levels. And Vector Man could morph into things. You pick up a power up and you can morph into things. You can morph into like a drill. You can turn into a freaking train. There's a train level where it's a top down view. You're in a train, kind of moving on tracks and shooting all over the place. I think there's like an airplane one as well. It was such a fun game, and I don't know why it never really came back after that one failed attempt on a next gen at the time. But here's what I would do to make it good: make it just as it was, similar graphics, but better, more crisp, similar music, better, more modern level design, and that's it. Change nothing else. Change nothing else, and this game will be a success. Sega makes games. Make Vector Man. Make it a $20 arcade game. I will buy it. I think several people will buy it. It is a great game that I thought was better than Mega Man. I know that's strong words for a lot of people that really like Mega Man. I thought it was better than Mega Man in every single way. I joke, but really, because you can shoot up at an angle, that's a big deal. But the level design was great. The music was great. The action was great. It was just so much fun. So you guys probably never ever played Vector Man. That's a franchise I want back. And if they ever like remastered it, not that Sega probably would, I would buy it. But if they just make the game what it was, but a bit more modern, I guarantee you it would be really, really fun.
To confirm what you said, they were working on one, and it says right here, Sega canceled Pseudo Interactive's Vector Man title after it was briefly shown at the 2003 E3. So yeah, it's like, yeah, we're not going to keep paying money for that to be made.
Yeah, and they made it like a weird third-person shooter when it was a side-scrolling, like, shoot 'em.
So 20 years. It's been dead 20 years.
Oof.
I would love Vector Man to come back so much. It was such a fun game. My first favorite video game was Vector Man. And just a fond memory of that. My dad, I think, was the first one to beat it. As a kid, I was like, what? My dad could beat this. I need to beat it. And then eventually, like, I beat it and, like, did better than him. And my dad was just like, oh. So I surpassed him in
It was
gaming.
that game.
Yeah, but he was the first one to beat it. I remember he stayed up to like play it one day, which thinking about my dad and who he was, I'm just like, that's not you. That's not you at all. But this game got you into it. So
I was
I have
just
I have fond
frantically,
memories.
I was just frantically looking to see if it was on NSO because you can play Sega Genesis games on there,
Is
and
it?
and sadly it's not. No, but there is a Sega
Aw.
Genesis collection that's on.
It's on every
everything.
Sega Genesis collection.
Yeah,
And
it's
if they ever
yeah.
make one, it's there.
So you can play it on Switch, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, wherever you want. So it's all over the place. So that'd be a good. I mean, I'm always for the platformer, even the platformer shooters. I'm a platformer guy. So like that instantly is like, yeah, okay, I'm down. I liked Vector Man.
Oh, and you had a double jump, like you jump and then you have little rocket boots that kind of do a little double jump. So they had that as just a base feature, but you could actually do damage with the boost. So on the double jump, that was another weapon. So you could time it to kind of like Mario stomp someone, but you have to do it like right before, and it actually did a decent amount of damage.
I
But like,
don't
there's
remember
like, hey,
that. Maybe that was a
it was
strat that I just like never used. I
it's a way
didn't
to
realize.
like There's a boss in both games, but there's bosses where you can kind of like, I need to get to the other side. Well, as I'm getting on the other side, I might as well just rocket boost off your head, get a little damage on you. So it was really satisfying combat. It was really good. And there's like, power ups and things you pick up in it. You turn into a bunch of different items. And there's so many different like paths you can kind of take. Even a game back then, like there are a lot of secrets. Like, hey, if you jump through this, you can get that power up and things like that. But the music was great. I need to listen to the music again, but like now. But I remember like just jamming to that game all the time. So I doubt you guys have a lot to add to it because you probably never played it.
No,
But
I
for me,
played it.
Vector Man.
I didn't
Oh, you did play
I
it.
didn't know about Vector Man 2, but I've played Vector Man. Yeah.
What one is better in my opinion? But I had a blast.
Yeah, it was very unique. I think my hang up was like I was expecting a Mega Man, and it's really actually hard to compare the two. Like you I know you said that in jest. It's really hard to compare the two because they play so differently. I guess the main concept is the same, but like they play so differently. Um, but I liked it. I like Vector Man. Like it's its own thing. Now that you mention it, I only thought they did one, but I'm like, why did they only do two? Like why
Two
did they
was
stop?
not as good. Basically, the premise is you saved humanity, yay, and you're doing your job and delivering like trash into the sun. Like that's your whole premise, just launching it into the sun. And then your ship gets shot down on this alien planet with a bunch of just bugs. So you're fighting these like weird mutant bug things the whole game. So it wasn't
Mm.
as satisfying. They changed it a little bit graphically. So I thought Vector Man 1 in particular was phenomenal, but good franchise. I would love to see it come back.
Okay, that's an old school one.
Yeah.
Scott, your turn.
So I'm going to pull a hill turn, and I'm going to talk about two games, two baby games. Well, not baby games, but I'm only going to talk briefly about each one. So let's see, that's how I balance it out. The first one is going to be super quick because I never actually played it. It's just more of like Capcom. How could you not make a new version of this? All right, so hear me out. Resident Evil, but with dinosaurs. That's right.
Are you saying Dino Crisis?
Dino
Bro,
Crisis.
you can't just spend this much time on that. They need to freaking they need a new Dino
Okay.
Crisis. Give us
In
Dino
my
Crisis.
defense, I've never played any Dino Crisis games. I didn't own the PlayStation 1. So this is coming from somebody way down the line. I just randomly I upset Mike. Mike walked off. I'm so sorry, Mike. I'll try to talk more about Dino Crisis. Please come back.
We lost Mike. He's gone now.
So here's my position from it. I just randomly come across Dino Crisis. I'm like, ooh, what's this game? Dino Crisis? Let me go read about it a little bit on Wikipedia. It's made by Capcom, people who worked on Resident Evil. Okay. Time travel. Well, I'm not sure if there's time travel. I think maybe, but there's dinosaurs. You fight T-Rexes. You fight raptors with guns. How is this not something that went past like 2 games? Like, how many Resident Evil games are there? There's like a bazillion Resident Evil games. Dinosaurs are cooler than zombies. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm just going to say it. Dinosaurs are undisputedly cooler than the undead. Can you just imagine a Resident Evil 4-like game, but instead of weird Spanish parasite head people, frickin' dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, it's a scientific proven fact, make everything better. That they are the pinnacle of cool. Look at Jurassic World. Terrible movies, but they have dinosaurs. So that's my thing. I know nothing else about Dino Crisis. Never played it, but it's Resident Evil dinosaurs.
Okay, well
That's
then
so
if you
cool.
I'm gonna speak on this.
Speak it.
So
Speak
so
it.
for people who are just listening, I just literally walked away from my desk while Scott was talking, and I had to go get this beautiful thing right here.
There we go.
It's a PlayStation copy of Dino Crisis. Look at that cool freaking disc. The PlayStation 1. Capcom, like, there's a Capcom Edge with points. I have no idea what that is. But this game, the setup on it, everything. Like, you show up on this island, you're there for like an op, like you're there in an op. You're going to get a researcher, like it's some other story, and all of a sudden people start dying. You're like, what the hell? Why are they dying? And it's because dinosaurs. And let me tell you, there are legitimate scares in this game that's like even I replayed this last year, and like I'm replaying it, and I was like, I don't remember that, and it like legitimately still got me. Update this like they did with Resident Evil 2 Remake. instant. That's people. That's why I'm so angry with them. They're like, hey, we're making a game with dinosaurs. We're making a game with dinosaurs and guns, and it's like futuristic. And all of us Dino Crisis people were like, "Eee!" And then they revealed it's some stupid thing like Exo something that's like an online multiplayer, some stupid garbage. And I'm like, that's not it.
Do you not like money, Capcom? Do you not realize how many people would buy this game? They don't even have to know anything about Dino Crisis. They're like, I get to shoot dinosaurs. That's cool.
And
so cool.
And it was very, for its time, it was very gory.
Yeah, Nintendo had their version of that to an extent. It was Turok,
Yep.
which is a
Was that-
franchise a lot of people miss as Turok. They had Turok 1 and 2 in the N64.
Was that a Nintendo-owned property, though, or it's just happened to be on Nintendo consoles?
I think it was at the time. It was only on the N64. So at the
Alright.
time,
I think
1
somebody
and
like
2,
bought it or something. Something
yeah,
happened.
they made
with
like a somewhat modern one a while ago. But when I always thought of Dino Crisis, I thought of Turok. But I think they're different gameplay.
I miss this stuff.
You miss the booklets in your games that actually like show you cool things.
And like I'm looking at these people and I'm like, I know what happens to you. I know what happens to you. I know what happens to you. And this also came with a demo of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. So the game wasn't even out.
I forgot when old games came with demos of other games to try to get you to buy them. Oh man, that's throwing me back. All right, Scott, I know you only meant to talk on that a little bit, but as
You
someone
can't spend like 2 seconds on that. I'm sorry, you can't.
I love that Mike just left to show us that physical
cool.
copy.
Of all the people to and you said you didn't play it. Well, good job anyway, Scott. Good job.
There you go. All right, so my next one, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to get nearly as excited reaction from Mike, but my real second one is going to be, and I like that Matt mentioned Nintendo because I'm going to go dig into Nintendo hardcore over this, and that is going to be the Mother franchise, aka to us Westerners, Earthbound.
I knew you were gonna. I was waiting for this one.
It's coming, and the very, very, very sad thing is, they don't really need to even make an Earthbound. Officially, what that would be Earthbound 3, Mother 4, if it was in Japan. They have a game they have Mother 3, and it's Japan only. They will never release it in the US, and I'm not going to go into the whole details why. It has to do with copyright, music, parody stuff. But if they could just figure out a way to release it, record new music for it, can't be that difficult. This is the one game where I'm sure all of you guys are either pro Earthbound or you're anti Earthbound just for the fact that you freaking hate Earthbound fans always whining about it every Nintendo Direct saying, is this going to be the one they announce it?
A meme now.
I mean, even Nintendo announced, remember that Robot Chicken Direct they did? And they're like, give us Mother 3. And then Reggie literally throws fire at them and burns them.
And that's the thing. They just taunt us. They have the characters in Smash Brothers games. It's like, here's Ness. Here's Lucas. Lucas is from that third one that will never release in America. Hey, people in the US, you can still play as him in Smash, just you'll never be able to play the game he's from. Sucks to be you. And it's super frustrating. They even had one they were working on for the Nintendo 64. And they kind of the same thing with Vector Man. They were just like, yeah, we're not feeling it. Cancel the project. I believe it was Namco Bandai actually a couple years ago went to Nintendo and said like, hey, can you license out Earthbound to us? We want to make a new game. We're huge fans. Here's our concept. It was going to be like Yoshi Woolly World. Like, is that the game? And it was just going to be all the characters are going to be made out of yarn. It was going to be like Earthbound style, but they were made out of yarn. Yeah, it sounded like, okay, cool. I don't care as long as the new Earthbound game gets made. And Nintendo's like, nah, we don't want money. Denied. Well, are you going to make a game? No, we just don't want you to make one. Denied. And it's like, you assholes. You assholes, Nintendo. And so, my thing, what can you do to go and make it so the Earthbound franchise doesn't die? How about have somebody other than, I'm not even going to say it, we're going to keep this a PG-13 podcast tonight. Give it to anybody else but Nintendo. That's how you keep it alive. We are out there. Your fans are waiting. We are waiting. We will throw money at you.
As you've seen me buy, like, I bought Metroid Prime Remastered digitally and physically. We're crazy. We'll do it.
Brendan Fraser's. They will give you the money.
Do you remember me bitching about paying $70 for Tears of the Kingdom? If they announced saying like, oh yeah, new Earthbound, $70, I'll just be like, Well, here's $80 just to give you like a little extra for your trouble, sir.
Just for
Like,
that. Thank you for
please.
bringing it. Thank you for
I know
making it.
I know I'm doing a lot of ranting about Earthbound. Maybe some of you out there, you sad people, haven't played it. Used to be very difficult to play the game. Now I believe it's on. Is it on the Nintendo Switch Online subscription service?
Earthbound.
Whatever. Earthbound one. I think 1 and 2 are, or Mother 1 and Mother 2.
I know for a fact they first finally showed up on the Wii U, whatever the virtual console, whatever it was, and that's actually how I played Earthbound. The first one. They may be on NSO. I think so. On the on the SNES. I have to go double check though.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 100% honest. It does not revolutionize RPG combat wise. It is very bare bones, basic RPG. It's not offensive. I mean, just don't expect to go and be wowed by it. What really goes and gives Earthbound its special place in my heart and everybody else's heart who played through it, it's just the charm of it. It's a weird, quirky, charming game, and it just gives. I think, actually, I was about ready to say, like, think of Undertale, but thinking about it right now, literally, Undertale is kind of like a little bit of a love letter to Earthbound.
It really is.
I think that was Toby Fox's main inspiration, and not just graphically, the way it looks, and it also being an RPG, but just the warmth of it and the character. So I'm telling you right now, not saying you're going to love Earthbound more than Undertale, but if you really, really liked Undertale, try out Earthbound. You will not be disappointed. And in reverse, a friend of mine, she started off playing Earthbound. She absolutely loved Earthbound, and I told her, like, hey, if you like Earthbound, try out Undertale. Sure enough, she loves Undertale. So I feel like it's something that, like, thank God Toby Fox is at least kind of keeping the spirit of it alive with Deltarune now. But Nintendo, again, it's one of those things, like, you can get money. You can go and claim it's like, oh, it's a really niche thing. Yeah, it doesn't have that many fans. Just the fans it does have, they're very vocal and obnoxious. But no, look at Undertale. Undertale is huge, huge. And you could go and jump in on that. And you wouldn't even be ripping off Toby Fox, because Toby Fox is kind of ripping off you. And I'm sure he'd be more than happy with giving back some of that limelight that Undertale has back to his inspiration. So there you go, Nintendo. Make it happen, please.
I don't really have a what's the phrase, dog in this fight. I hate that phrase because I've never played them. I've never really wanted to, but at this point, and it's similar to Team Fortress 2, where it's just like you own it, you have it, you can do something with it. Just license it out. And I didn't know that at all. That Rare was like, hey guys, let us make it, and they're like, nah. Like it means one of two things. Either one, they're hoarding it so they can do something with it, but they've had so many years to do something. Why haven't they? Or two, they're just like, we do what we want. That's it. We do what we want.
I will say I've learned in recent years that Nintendo likes to make games and then just sits on them. I have no idea why. Like, sits on them. Just makes it and they go, stick it to the side. And then they announce it and then it's like the worst kept secret. You know, people start reporting on it and then, you know, it comes out and it's like, huh. So apparently that's not uncommon for them, which is stupid, but whatever. Whatever. It's not like it's a money issue either. They could risk it. They could risk it and go, you know what? It didn't make the money that we expected it. I mean, look at Metroid Dread. I think it sold 3. I got to look at the numbers. But, you know, like it's, as much as I love Metroid Dread, it's a niche. It's a niche Nintendo franchise. But they did that one. You know? So, yeah, that's frustrating.
And the funny thing is, I mean, in a little bit over a week, Nintendo won't care because they're just going to be Scrooge McDucking into their money bin of all us Tears of the Kingdom players. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Whine about your little Earthbound. Whine about your Metroid. You're all going to give us your money pretty soon for Zelda. And you know what? You're right. That's the sickening thing. Yes, I am giving you your money. You're going to get away with it. And I'm just going to bitch about it. And there's nothing that will be done.
See,
I'm so excited for Tears of the Kingdom.
I was purposely not getting excited for Tears of the Kingdom because, like, I wasn't going to buy it at launch just because I'm like, my game budget's on lockdown. I owe a stupid amount of money on taxes. I couldn't do it. So I was just like, whatever. It's out of my brain. And then I was streaming last night and someone was just like, oh, you're not getting Tears of the Kingdom? I'm like, nah, I'll get it later. Gaming budget. And they're like, here's $75. They just tip me $75 on Twitch. I'm like, hey
And-
guys,
and
do you know
now
this the new Zelda game coming out? I am excited. Wow, this game
you
looks
just caught up
rad.
to my. So I have a rule. I think I've shared this with you guys. I have a rule for the games that I'm extremely excited about. Okay, so that I'm not. It's twofold. So that I'm not super crazy annoying to everybody, but also that I don't like hype myself up so much that it's like it seems like it takes forever to show up. I don't. I try not to even think about the game until either 1 or 2 weeks away, depending on the game. And then when I got this thing, then it was just like, ugh. And like every time I'm playing a game, I'm like, I wonder if Tears of the Kingdom will do something like this. I wonder if I could do this in Tears of the... I'm playing a game and I'm thinking about Tears of the Kingdom. What's wrong with me?
I started playing Horizon Forbidden West because it came with my PlayStation, and I'm just like,
This isn't Breath of the Wild. This isn't
this
Tears of the
isn't
Kingdom.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah. Anywho, Earthbound, good one. Tears of the Kingdom. I'm officially on the wagon. I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's
Welcome,
like
brother.
Like,
Welcome.
Welcome.
I'm here, man.
Welcome
I'm
to the
happy
hype
to be
train.
here.
Which, by the way, do we want to do a quick little fun announcement of... Will it be... No, not next week, but I guess the week after.
Week after.
The
Yeah,
week
go for
after.
it.
So we will be doing a themed podcast. So by the time we get to that podcast recording, we all now will have been playing Tears of the Kingdom for like what 4 or 5 days ish.
Probably 2 for me because I shipping.
I-
But yes,
I asked for a week off from work just so I can go and
So you can
stay
play
at
it.
home and play it. So I'll have plenty to say.
Yep. So we're gonna be talking about our thoughts on it, and it's just gonna be a Zelda podcast, which brings a lot of joy to my heart.
hey, speaking of Zelda, like by the time this airs, it's already going to pass. But this weekend is the Splatoon 3 Splatfest, where
Team
you can
Power.
choose to be Wisdom for Zelda, Courage for Link, or the correct option, Power for Ganondorf. This is a Splatfest I am the most invested in. I care about no other Splatfest that has ever happened. Team Power is going to dominate the Splatfest. You better not make me
You
eat
said
my
it.
words.
You said it wrong.
Team Power's gonna be
Team
dominant?
Power for Hot Ganon.
Hot
Hot
Ganon.
Ganon!
Yeah.
Or you can even
Yay.
go further with Hot Dad Ganon.
Oof. Muscly.
Mm-hmm.
Got
All right,
a
I'm
bunch of
excited.
Ganon stands here.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
Ganondorf main since Melee. He is my guy. I'm excited for some more Ganon. Although Wind Waker Ganon was cool. Anywho, back to the actual thing. So we got Scott's last one. Mike, you have one more, right?
I have one more, and it's another GameCube one, and I don't think either of you. I mean, I don't think either of you would have guessed Time Splitters. This one is it might be one of the first games that I always mispronounce his name, Hideki Kamiya, who is
Gesundheit.
famous. Thank you. Who is notorious for he's tied to Platinum Games. Okay, I don't know if this is a Platinum Games thing. I don't think it is, but it's definitely Capcom. So here's another Capcom one, and I see a sticker. I got this game for $14.99
Back in the day.
back in the day. Took a chance on it just because it looked cool. And this game was so unique, and it is still so unique, and I would love to see it. And that game is Beautiful Joe.
Beautiful Joe.
I forgot that existed.
And there is a Beautiful Joe too. So there are two. Now, Beautiful Joe is a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. Not in the typical sense of like you can move forward and backwards like the Turtle games, like the Streets of Rage games. It is a pure side-scrolling 2D beat-em-up game. But the unique thing is, did they call it the V trigger? I think it is. But basically, you get these moves, and there are moves like where you slow down. There's you level up, and you play as Joe, who, if you look on the back, is just this big old putz. Totally early 2000s get up here. And he loves movies. He loves movies. And his girlfriend, or this girl, gets sucked up into him, and he's like, well, I gotta save her. And so he goes into various movies. So the game literally the entire time you play has the old film strips going. So like the old actually I think you can see it like right here. See those black and whites like the film strips, right? And it's very film uh a lot of film references, and it's just a good beat 'em up game. And the thing that I absolutely loved about it is there's the two things. Super silly, super ridiculous, super over the top. I love that. And in the good ways. And the art style. It is hard. I will always be a fan of cell shaded games. I will always be a fan.
It was one of the first, wasn't it?
It
The
was one
cell
of the
shading?
first. I think this
At
game,
least
and
first
there was
major one.
a car what was it called? Kablam or something. But like those are
Yeah.
the first ones in my memory that I could remember like that came out. And then Wind Waker came and I was like, oh, yeah, this is definitely my thing. I love the cell shaded artwork and the animations, the movements, and you play as Joe, who's this doofus, but he gets amped up with this thing on his helmet here, this V, and he turns into Beautiful Joe, who gets these superpowers. You level up, and as you complete levels and you get things, you get like an in-game currency. Then you can spend it on new moves, spend it on special moves, and things like that. And you go through the game. It's just again, just like Time Splitters. It's just fun. It's just good fun that looks great on your TV, and the music's great, and it's just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah,
And
I have to.
yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, that's kind of it. Like it's just oh my oh my god. I never even realized this. Look on the back of the case here. Who is that?
Is that Rob?
That's Rob.
Rob, yeah.
They had the Rob robot in the
Cool.
game.
I guess so. Well, at least right there. I don't remember him in the game. That's cool.
So I have to say, like, one of my biggest regrets from the GameCube era of games I didn't play was Beautiful Joe. Never played them, but it's one of those games that I always wish I did. And without even playing the game, I know that, like, this game has swagger. This game has, like, I'm really big into punk music and, post-punk, all that type of genre. And, I like how they're assholes. I like how they're just, got that swagger. They got that attitude. And without even playing Beautiful Joe, I know that game drips it. Like, it's actually pretty pathetic. I never played the game, but I think when it came out, the catchphrase he said, I would just say it all over the place. It's like Henshin a go-go.
Henshin a go-go, baby. Yep.
There
we
we go. And I would and my parents were like, what the hell does that even mean? It's like, oh, it sounds so cool. But yes, good choice, Mike. Good choice. Even though I never played it.
And even on the back here, it says, utilize VFX power to zoom in, slow down, or activate Mach speed to fight your foes with style. Loaded with cool and funky visuals and nonstop action, Beautiful Joe will remind you just how fun video games can be. Henshin a go-go, baby.
That game has moxie. It has moxie. It has pizzazz. It has, like, all those other words don't really mean anything that you can just throw on things.
Yeah, it has a lot of John Moxley. That was.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
I'm out now. Mm-mm.
But
that was a game.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
played a little bit of. Most of my Beautiful Joe actual playing was in a Marvel vs. Capcom game. They put him in. I want to say Marvel vs. Capcom 3 as a playable character, and he was just a short little character in Marvel vs. Capcom versus like Thanos or whatever it was at the time, which was a lot of fun. That game had a lot of style. It reminded me of one of my favorite Genesis games, which was a Comics Zone. Did you ever play that?
That's actually on the NSO, and I never got to play it back in the day because I didn't have a Genesis. I always wanted to. I actually played it on NSO, and I was like,
that had swagger.
Great.
And I feel Beautiful Joe was heavily influenced by it. It was just a stylish game.
You know that style? Yeah, like how it just leans hardcore into the comics and Comic Zone. Yep. This leans hardcore into the film stuff. Like it's just you hear like the audio of the reels kicking in, the visuals, their VFX, so they're like film effects, but like you're doing them in action. It's just fun. It's a good time, and it is challenging. It is challenging. This might have been like one of those games where I didn't expect it to be so hard, and it like rocked me at first, and I had to get good.
So here's the question though. what would you do to make sure, like, if it would come back, what would you think needs to be done to like make it successful?
Okay, this is gonna be stupid. It's gonna sound stupid, but I legitimately think this is a thing. And I with Octopath Traveler 2 in the poor sales that it's had, and everybody who's played it has said that it's 1 billion% better than the first, and I love the first. That Octopath Traveler 2 fixes everything of the first, and it sold poorly. Well, why? Why did the second game sell poorly when the first game sold like gangbusters? And I think the only thing they could literally bring back the next Beautiful Joe game, keep it cell shaded, keep the same thing, keep the same system, make it a very similar game. All they need to do is make sure it's a Nintendo exclusive. Get it in a Nintendo Direct where Nintendo is pushing that thing, where Nintendo is getting it in front of people's eyes, and it will sell.
You're right, Mike. You're right. That does sound stupid.
But look, Octopath Traveler sold like gangbusters. Octopath Traveler 2 did not. And Square was in charge of the marketing. How much marketing did you see for it? I saw none. I forgot the game was coming out and it released. And I went, whoa, oh snap. And apparently everybody else did. There are
Wasn't
many
it
there are many
on
games.
other systems?
It came to other systems later. So
Okay.
I mean, Beautiful Joe can go to other systems. That's fine. I mean, that's not whatever. I'm just saying maybe like an exclusivity deal, right? Where like how Destiny tied itself to PlayStation 4, and that Destiny 2 was huge. It got huge, and I really think it's because the PlayStation 4 was just destroying the Xbox One, right? And if you tie your game, and if you like get with Nintendo and Platinum, I mean, maybe not anymore. Platinum Games has in recent years seems to have kind of lost their way a bit. But I mean, for a while there, they were firing on all cylinders, and they could go to Nintendo and be like, "Hey, we'd like to do this game. We'll make it exclusive." You know, they were like one of Nintendo's best second-party games companies, and they were doing great, and their game sold well for being like what you wouldn't expect them to sell well. Tie it to a Nintendo system. I guarantee, and then eventually move it to the others. Move it to PlayStation, move it to Xbox, PC, and you'll sell even more. But I guarantee you, if you do that and you get that marketing, the Nintendo marketing, you get that money behind you, you get it in a direct, and you're good.
I know this is going to be totally like going off topic, but you mentioning Nintendo marketing. Do you feel like Nintendo is good at marketing? Like I look at Tears of the Kingdom. I look at Tears of the Kingdom. Have they really marketed Tears of the Kingdom? That's just purely like everybody's excited about it. Like I haven't seen a trailer. I've seen trailers, but I haven't seen a commercial for it. I haven't seen ads online.
They're all over the place. They're all over the place. Even I've been spotting them on like various things, and I'm like, I didn't know that this was happening. I've been spotting them everywhere.
I haven't seen a single one on OnlyFans. I mean, on sites I usually frequent. I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to the right places.
I'll make sure to add that to my beard OnlyFans when I make it.
You're just like rubbing like Zelda figurines and discs in and out of your beard.
Well, you do,
dude. Mike, you got to go and do like a cosplay of Sexy Ganon.
Dad bod Ganon, let's go.
I'll dye my beard red. I'll dye my beard red.
Please,
some green body paint.
I'll walk around with like the half toga on.
Oh my gosh! But it cuts just perfectly around the boob. It like highlights it.
Hey bears, you're welcome. I got your back, boo.
But yeah, so I think that's all it would need, honestly. I mean, because the game, I say that because the gameplay is great. I mean, I'm sure they can update it in some ways, but like the gameplay is great, the visuals are great, the audio is great, everything's already great. Just make another one, and the fans are already there. They'll already be there. And for anybody new, you get that in a direct, and you get that in their marketing in some way, shape, or form. And now you've got a whole bunch of eyes that have never even heard of this franchise before that go, well, that looked really pretty. That looked really nice. I love the colors. That probably would look great on my OLED. Like, I'm trying to imagine. I play this game on my GameCube, and I'm like, man, this game pops. I can only imagine the eye burn that I would have playing this on my OLED. Like, they don't need much. And that's a testament to the games themselves. Just get it in front of people. That's all. You know,
I
and you
think
say
it,
the marketing for Nintendo, they got Metroid Dread to sell almost 3 million. That's crazy to me.
even if
Metroid
they
Dread, a 2D Metroid that sold for $60. The marketing for that went crazy. They've purposefully marketed Tears of the Kingdom the way they have because they do not want to spoil things, and they're teasing people so much because they already know about Breath of the Wild. So we're going to do our marketing different. Marketing does not just mean let me throw this in your face all the time 100% of the time. It means you do the right thing for the right game in the right way.
Now that you mention, I think they probably spent all that money on the Mario movie. Now that's something you could not get away from.
It's earned that money right back.
It did.
$1 million.
Investment.
In fact, it's falling out of their pockets, and they're like beating people up, saying, "Get away from our money." So
they're making Earthbound movie next, just for you, Scott.
Just for me.
take that money and
That's
go
a good
make
one.
Earthbound, whatever, Earthbound 4.
I like
Earthbound
Beautiful Joe. I would love to see that come back because one thing that games have been doing a lot more of, I think, maybe just because there's more games than ever before, is going for those style points. Like at this point, if you just have hi, it's a hack and slash, it's like okay, why? Hey,
Hi.
it's a hack and slash where when you slice them, confetti shoots out of them and rock music plays, and I'm like, go on. Like that's a gimmick that would definitely do well, like right now, just over the top stuff like that. Like people want that. People, at least me, the older I get, the more bright and colorful games I'm enjoying. And for example, as the game I forgot to say, I also started playing like Sackboy's Big Adventure or whatever. It was free last month. I'm just like, it's bright, it's colorful, it's happy. Even if I was cutting limbs off, if it's bright and colorful, I'm happy. So Beautiful Joe is a good one. There's just to recap real quick, like the games we're wanting to see done. Maybe we can round robin on this one. For me, Team Fortress, give me a 3. License it out. Make it happen. Vector Man. I don't think it's going to come back, but all I have to do is just basically make the game as it was, like in the same type of vein. I think it'd do quite well. If you want to put it on the Switch exclusive, I think it'll do well
I
there
think
as well.
that would be another one where if you could somehow get it Switch exclusive, like I think that would put a lot of eyes on it.
I think so. And even if you just like do like a pan up of Vector Man, there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, "What the heck is this?" And then you can cut to like me in the background. It's be excited, and people will buy the game. So those are the two that I would love to see. Team Fortress, which you guys agree with. Vector Man, you guys probably don't care as much. Scott Man, because I think it is better than Mega Man, because it is. Those are my two. Scott, what were you?
Hey,
What were your
how
two
many?
games, Scott?
No, we're going back to that,
No,
buddy.
not what are you talking about? We're good. We're done.
Hey, how many Vector Mens are there?
2.
How many Mega Mans are there? Okay.
Too
I'll
many.
just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that.
But
How
you
many
know
Mega
what?
Man
But you
games
know
can
what
you shoot
Doc's?
up in?
But you know
How
what
many
Doc's
Mega Man games
points?
can you shoot at an angle? What Doc's points, Mike?
I believe it was the main guy that did like the original Mega Man's went on to make a pretty terrible game called Mighty Number 9.
That was a doozy.
And that's like docking points for Mega Man. I'm sorry, Scott. That's fact.
I will give it to you for Mega Man, but Mega Man X, come on. Anyway, I get sidetracked. For me, I would love to see a new Rock Band, but maybe reinvent Rock Band. I think Mike's idea of doing some type of subscription service, awesome. In all honesty, there will probably never be another Rock Band. So the best I can hope for is subscription service Guitar Hero. So
In Fortnite.
I could still do my Rock Band in Fortnite. I guess I'm going to have to go and get my Thanos skin and do a Kamehameha and then bring out my guitar and play I Love Rock and Roll and just
You could literally play Metallica.
You can't.
When we play, you're going to play Metallica with me. You're going to
Oh
play
my
Master of
God.
Puppets. You're going to see me playing as Piccolo, playing Master of Puppets, and then you're going
I'm
to see
so
Rando joining
excited.
in.
I'm so excited to watch Scott play Fortnite for the first time. I'm so excited.
June 9th is going to be the worst day of my life. I'm telling you right now. It's just going to be the absolute
The first time
worst
probably
day
will,
ever.
but I'm telling you, the more you play it, I think you're going to like it, Scott.
If I didn't already not look forward to that day because I'm turning 35, I'm even more not looking forward to it now because I'm going to have to see Piccolo play Enter Sandman. Anyway, second game. Well, I guess next two games.
No, I'm
Mega Man Dino
hijacking one.
Crisis.
I'm hijacking
How
one of
good?
yours.
You're doing Dino Crisis?
I'm
Fine, well,
hijacking it. I'm sorry.
okay, we'll leave Dino Crisis to Mike, and then me. Please do another Earthbound. You don't even have to make a new one. Just give us the third one. Please, just do something. Give this fan base some type of bone. Any type of bone. We're begging you. Please, 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 please. Anyway, that's it for me.
Bone.
I do.
Earthbone.
I want that bone.
He wants Earthbone 4.
Earthbone 4.
Earthbone 69.
On his birthday.
On his birthday.
On my birthday. That's what makes me happy.
And then for me, as I'm holding them up, I'm hijacking Scott's. I would give us Dino Crisis, even give us a remake or remaster. I don't care. Give us something. Beautiful Joe, please give us another Beautiful Joe. Time Splitters, I think of all of these, this would be the best seller. Like this is like easy money. So that's it. So those are games. That was fun. That was fun revisiting these things, and some of the things you guys talked about too. I'm like, how did I not think of that one? Like I didn't think of Team Fortress 2, even though there's a 2 in the name of it.
That one.
Yeah, and we, by the way, for you listening, you watching, we did not share these games before. We just said we're gonna have 2, and then Scott went rogue and did 3. Actually, I did 3 because I hijacked his, which got me super excited about. I'm very passionate about Dino Crisis, if you can tell. That was fun. That was fun revisiting those, and I think maybe another day we do one where it's just like the game series only had 1, and we'd like to see a sequel or something, right? Another one in the series. So that'd be good. So that being said, that's wrap on the game. Scott, do you have a rant for us tonight?
Oh, do I have a rant for you today?
All right, so here it goes. You know what time it is. We're gonna cue that music. It's going now. Scotty Porta Potty rant, go.
Look over there, he just doesn't care. He's going off on a crowd of people, throwing words in the air like he just don't care. He's yelling at all of us sheeple. It's a Scotty Porta Potty rant. It's a Scotty Porta Potty rant. It's a Scotty Porta Potty rant. It's rant time.
You know what really grinds my gears? Frozen. Granted, I'm pretty sure that only 2 people listening to this are female, so I feel like I'm just kind of, going after something that has no defenders out there. With that said, Frozen sucks. It sucks so bad. If I thought Mario, the movie, was the worst thing ever, I still would have been super happy and cheered it on for the single fact that it knocked Frozen's ass off the throne of being the top animated film of all time. Let's be honest. It was a shitty story. It sucked. And there's only one reason it did so good. Because of one shitty overplayed song that every freaking little girl in the world played. And I hate it. I hate that song so much. Whoever you made that song, I'm sure you're a lovely person. But I also wish the worst for you. But I really don't mean that. If anything bad happens to you, I'm so sorry. I do hate your music so much. I hate that song. Kingdom Hearts 3? You know what? At first, it was an okay game. It's like, I'm enjoying this. And then it got to the Frozen section. 0 out of 10 game instantly. Because Frozen is the worst. How about if you watch a good Disney movie? Moana, Tangled. I can keep going on and on and on. Frozen is the absolute worst. The worst. Thank you. God bless America.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all. He's
Like,
100% right.
Sometimes I'm just like, Scott, this is insane. We'll talk about this later. He is not wrong. That movie friggin' sucks. Awful movie.
I remember watching
Horrible
it.
movie.
I watched it with an open mind because you guys know I try everything. I'll try it.
Everything.
I
Everything
try
he
I try everything. And at the end of it, I went, "What was the story again? What was it? Is it really what I'm thinking it is?" And it just, yeah, I agree.
There you go.
Well, that's it. That's a rant that we can all agree with, and maybe everybody listening is gonna be like, "Well, I'm done. Too bad. Goodbye."
We never
The
wanted
two-
them anyway.
Yeah, you know what? If we
two
lost
women
somebody
watching.
if we lost somebody because we insulted Frozen, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, okay?
Okay. Well, I mean that'll wrap it up. I think we need to let it go. And move about. another day and
I
wrap
made a
up
joke
this.
like that earlier. You guys just missed it. I'm
Oh.
offended.
I
It's
did,
all about timing. It's about timing and delivery, Matthew.
which Frozen doesn't have. Oh man. Okay. All right. Well, that's a good way to wrap it. So hey, if you're watching, throw some comments. What are games franchises? So there has to be at least more than one that you would love to see come back, and let us know. Like, hit me up on Twitter, hit us up on Twitch. So Bauer Tendo, Celiac Matt, SMS Steven streams eventually. Now that he's got the rig, he's just got to get all that
Eventually.
stuff figured out. He's working on it. Hit me, write the comments here. We do answer, we do talk, we do watch, we do listen, probably a little bit too much. If you're listening, head on over to YouTube channel and yell at us. Do that. So we appreciate you guys as always. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. Remember those goals. I think it was 150,000 subs for Beard Only fans. I think it was 200,000 subs for Sexy Smash Brothers calendar, and 1 million subs for Fortnite ass tattoo, which I know we will never get. We won't get, but I want that so badly to happen. That would be wonderful.
For now, you'll just have to settle for Scott in streaming in his boxers.
Yes, and you will be seeing him play Fortnite, and just his boomer ass, just the eyes glazing right over as he goes.
Stretch goal. Since we already hit that 100 easily, 125, Scott will play Fortnite in his boxers.
That was going to happen regardless. You shut your mouth.
Yeah, that's
we have to. No, that gotta pump up them viewers. Just lie to them. That was not something I was planning on doing.
the easiest way to pump up the numbers. All right, well, appreciate you. Until next time, bye.
Spectre Man's better than Mega Man.
Screw you.